German national team coach, whom we will see later on in the match as a coach for Timo Boll against Per Gorell. And he told me, well, Hayata is very, very special, very gifted player, especially above the table, with a very fast acceleration of the wrist and a very, very good service and return match. And we will probably see this also, the different service variation of Hayata. I'm looking forward to also see this as a commentator. I've seen her before quite some time, but you know, sometimes if you have seen very matches at the same time, you don't watch carefully on one match. So it's interesting for me to see also the service of Hayata in this important quarterfinal here at the World Tour event against Hamamoto. So the match is about to start.
First game, Hamamoto to serve, love all.
Hamamoto to serve. Yeah, and we see also these kind of service variation that Mimaito is also known for, Hayata will be known for, and also Hamamoto is, I will call this service a little bit around the service. It's a kind of reverse service variation, and especially the Japanese women are known for this service.
Net, 1 point.
Ui, what a backhand! This was unbelievable fast. Like finding directly this next gear in the first ball. Very spinny opening. Very good quality in the beginning of this game from Hayata. Yep. Interesting way. Long service followed by a smash. Long time this smash we only see from defense players or from players using pips out. And I think with the change of the plastic ball, with a little bit less rotation inside the game, this smash might be coming back. Good service variation so far from Hamamoto. Very many different kind of services she's using. Again, this high toss service.
4-2.
You always try to compare these different players in terms of how they develop, and maybe Hayata is really the next step in comparison also to Ishikawa. Also like a left-hand player, also able to accelerate, but as Ishikawa is building up the game with the first softer topspin, she's directly coming with the first acceleration, doesn't matter with backhand or with forehand.
3-5.
Rushed a little bit too much. Yeah, showed herself how she should have done it right. Good 2 times short shot, and this time the hand of Hamamoto was up. Not that fast forehand topspin, but very nice placement. Yeah, she shows herself not that stable, the forehand. Yeah, a little bit of shadow practice. Yeah, and this is what I was talking about before. This different way of reverse service. The idea was from Hamamoto to flick, to have a little bit of change there of placement, but Hayata was there.
5-7.
It's interesting. Hayata at this moment is really able to win this first acceleration, the point, by winning the service and return. But whenever the rally is getting a little bit longer, Hamamoto is also very stable. And Hayata, whenever she has to move a little bit more, she also had some misses there. Again, this long service. You remember the first time after the long service, she followed by a good forehand smash. This time was the direct mistake of Hayata. Very spinny, very much rotation inside this first forehand topspin. And again, whenever this quality is raised by Hayata, then the service and return is on favor of her. And Hamamoto has to rely on the longer rallies, and this time very good acceleration of Hamamoto. Before she was winning the points more with placement. I'm sure they know each other from many practice units together. That's why they probably don't react that much on service as maybe some other players would do, and still they have troubles in reading the service right. 10-7. 3 game points for Hayata. Nice receive there. A little bit something between a push and a flick. And 11-7. The first game is going in the direction of Hayata. 1-0 up. We'll be back in a minute.
The respective winners, the winner of the first game is Hina Hayata, who just has won Wimbledon 7. Setelah vítězkou prvního setu je Hina Hayata, která vyhrála skórem 11-7.
And let's see if we have also some kind of ritual which of the two women are faster, or I could still say girls are faster at the table. Remember, Ishikawa was always the one who came back first in the first quarterfinal. This time Hamamoto was a bit faster than Hayata, but Hayata's up 1-0 and 0-0 in game number 2.
One love.
Good service there. After this high tough service, if the ball falls down, you have also the power of the ball that you can change in heavy back or heavy upspin. Very good this time, 2 times accelerating from both sides, but the better ending for Hamamoto by being able, we can see here in slow motion, to switch the ball down the line a little bit in the style of Ishikawa. Good placement there. Usually she felt probably that the ball will be dropping if she's accelerating too much, so she's using the wrist and giving it a little bit extra spin to the middle. Both are using also this high toss service, where you're really throwing high the ball and using the power of the ball that is falling down to increase the spin and speed of the ball.
1-4.
Better start now for Hamamoto. 4-1. And again this change of service after not being able to win the first point with this high toss. She started again this service around the ball, we can see here. A little bit also in the style as Per Garel, we will see him later on, is using. 4-2 for Hamamoto. Looks like an easy mistake, but this different service variation is really difficult to see, and especially after this high toss. It's not only the wrist that is producing the spin, but also the power of the ball.
3-5.
Yeah, from the middle. Had to open, she's showing also a little bit, has to open the hip a little bit more, the side a little bit more, to have a better position towards the ball.
4-5.
Still, both are struggling with service receive to read the service of the opponent well, to see how much spin is inside. And lots of
5-0.
variation inside the service. It's difficult to find the rhythm. Usually that's crucial inside a game, to really find the rhythm, to really get the feeling for the opponent's service. And at this moment, both are struggling with this. And another new service, this classic reverse service, as we see him usually from, let's say, Timo Boll. But getting a little bit too half long. Nice attack from Hayata.
7-5.
Followed by a service mistake. Was 4-1 up Hamamoto. And now it's 7-5 for Hayata. Crucial moment there, I believe. Very good rally so far. And also this time Hayata was keeping the pressure, winning this little bit longer rally in comparison, not only winning the first ball, but followed by the third, second, fourth forehand or backhand topspin. And again, service variation, heavy backspin. Hamamoto having big troubles in reading the service of Hina Hayata right. A little bit desperate to my point of view already. Nearly close to lose the control. I mean, you can understand a bit after being 10-5 down before being 4-1 up. Maybe she has also a little bit troubles in finding the rhythm. As we mentioned before, we have this multi-ball experiment, which to my point of view proved to be a good step.
10-6.
And also Hayata has still troubles. 2 direct service return mistake.
Ten-7.
Good save there from Hina Hayata, but still Hamamoto was ready to finish the ball with the forehand smash. 10-8. Nice try there, nice save there from Hayata. And now maybe it's a time for Hamamoto to again use the right service. Maybe to go again for a long service. We're gonna see. This time she's shooting a short service and a long push, a little bit not a straight push, but like something like around the side, a little bit of side spin push. We will see probably here in slow motion. Gives this 11-8 and the 2-0 lead. Missed it, a little bit misjudged the ball. Hina Hayata is up 2-0 and will be back in a minute.
Druhou setnou je s tobou Hina Francie Polska, která vyhrála 11-8 a vede 12.
And we are back in game number 3. Hina Hayata is up 2-0, showing to my point of view the more variation and the more steady game altogether, also being able to accelerate in the right moment. And Hamamoto has to come back.
Love 1.
what is really special about Hayata is that all her strokes having this extra quality, a little bit more spin than you expect, a little bit more speed than you expect.
Too low.
And Hamamoto, to my point of view, didn't find the right tactic at this moment and is also from technically side a little bit behind Hayata, to my point of view. See, for example, like this, after this spinny ball into the backhand, usually this forehand you have to step in, you have to bend your knees. To my point of view, she's also a little bit too high. I mean, she's tall for a Japanese player, but she has to find a way there. And this time she found the way down the line. And this was also something what actually I like the idea Hayata had behind, a little bit like Xu style, moving the forehand service into the deep forehand of a right hand, turning around, being ready to have the counter spin directly. And this time luck favors Hayata. Again, good feeling from Hamamoto when she saved this net ball. We will see there. See, like an artist. But Hayata finished the ball. This time she found a better distance for the table. That's also crucial, not only to think in terms of big footwork, like big movements from forehand to backhand side, but also to adapt these small steps. That's the main thing in table tennis. Otherwise you will always have what we call easy mistakes, and if you do 2, 3, 4 easy mistakes in one game, you have no chance to win on this level. Whoa, 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 this was like a wall, Hamamoto. No way to get through. Good reaction shots there. I thought especially latest there she would be able to win the point, Hayata, but Hamamoto was very stable. Sweep. And that's the main thing there. I mentioned the quality on this first ball. Very nice acceleration with the wrist, and the acceleration on the first ball, not in comparison with Ishikawa accelerating more on the second ball with the backhand. Very good quality.
4-5.
Just touch the ball, touch the table, edge ball. And this time there was an interesting service again. Long service in the middle, and Hayata was answering by not opening with the forehand, but doing a step the other way around, but being ready to play with the backhand into the deep forehand of Hamamoto. That is also a solution to cover the middle with the backhand. Net. Again, this
6-4.
service around the ball. This Japanese reverse service, I would call that. Again, and you see how Hamamoto was able to construct this point. Hayata was still finding this body stability, just like putting the ball back with the backhand, but just not quality enough. And then Hamamoto was able to switch the ball into the forehand, winning the point. And again in the middle.
5-7.
And that's what I like, to my point of view, from Hayata. Not only going on these fast rallies, but controlling the ball. And we can see here, 1, 2, 3. And how stable Hamamoto was there, how she was not stepping back, how not she was falling. Very good control of the ball.
6-7.
Service mistake, return mistake, not the best position with the legs. Hand of Hayata is moving very nice. Good.
7-0.
And this time again, problems in service and receive. Service a little bit more upspin into the deep forehand, and there probably one step would have been missing from Hayata. Therefore no pressure in the receive, and giving Hamamoto the chance to open and follow with a good forehand. And
7-8.
And surprisingly, 8-7 lead for Hamamoto after being 5-7 down. And this time Hayata should have chosen the forehand from middle. Very good, very good backhand flick there, like in Tsang style. Not accelerated, but very spinny. You have this backhand reverse, this backhand flick you can do like in a fast accelerating way, but also in a backspin way nearly, like in a side spin way.
9-7.
That caused trouble for Hayata, and now she's 9-7 down, and Hamamoto has the chance to get closer to game number 3. Very good. Again, service variation, new service. Hamamoto has very many different service. And I thought usually she's the one to be active. But again, there we see good placement of Hayata, and Hamamoto was coming up a little bit too much. In comparison, the footwork of Hamamoto has to be really improved. Whoa, what an angle. Unbelievable. This was so far. No one had even the chance to touch that ball. Maybe with roller skates, Hamamoto had the chance to touch this angle. Unbelievable. Not a long rally, but very, very special and nice placement. And all of a sudden, 9-9 again. And service Hamamoto. Let's see if Hamamoto, and service Hayata, let's see if Hamamoto will come back again with his backhand flick. Short. I think everybody has still a little bit trouble in moving to the ball. And then was good idea from Hayata, but just missed it by an inch. 10-9, first game point for Hamamoto. And the third time, this time she relied again on this backhand flick. Not that fast, a little bit more with side spin, and this is 3 times Hayata missed that ball. That's something she probably has to think it over in the break, and we'll be back in a minute.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the third game of this match is Yui Hamamoto. She won 11-9, and her opponent Hina Hayata leads the match 2-1 on games. Přátelé, vítězkou uplynulé samy je Yui Hamamoto, která vyhrála 11-9.
I love rituals, and so probably the Japanese players are doing. Again, Hamamoto is the first one to reach the table. A little bit faster from moving from the coaching situation to the table, and she has to move also a little bit faster inside the game. That's something she really has to improve. But service return, especially in end of number 3, was really good. She was winning this game number 3, only 2-1 in favor of Hayata, and also the first point is going in the direction of Hamamoto. 1-0 lead in game number 4.
Too low.
Remember, end of game number 3, 3 times caused the backhand flick big troubles for Hina Hayata.
Red. Too
Now
low.
2-0 down, losing the first own services. And Hamamoto, although she's not that able to accelerate as much as Hayata, more stable, more controlled. It looks like
3 low.
she really find a way, find her own way, find her rhythm. And what is very special about these both players, that they're having really so many different service variation, so many high toss service, so many service around the ball, so many long services. 3-1, Hamamoto. Again, this first topspin, this time in cross court, into the forehand of Hamamoto. The next one down the line, a little bit like the other way around. We saw this from Ishikawa, where she opens very often the first one down the line and the second one cross.
4-2.
And still I believe for some reason Hayata is a little bit losing the concentration. Now rushing from backhand half with a forehand. Usually a good stroke, a good chance there to finish the ball. And she's still not moving enough in the ball. Maybe a little bit of extra acceleration, maybe a little bit of softer touch would have been needed there.
4-2.
Whoa, very good there. I thought also the first spinny ball is very good. Good control from Hamamoto. Again here. And then the last ball, Hamamoto was accelerating and Hayata was a little bit late from the forehand side.
2-6.
Hamamoto is controlling on one side the longer rallies, but also causing troubles for Hayata with service and receive. That's why the whole game a little bit changed altogether.
3-6.
6-3 lead for Hamamoto. She was ready there. Usually Hayata is known, I mentioned that before, for this different service variation, for this kick service that is really jumping after touching the table very fast. And Hamamoto was ready, answering with a fast counter topspin. Spinny topspin to the middle. And Hayata is rushing a little bit too much. At this moment, the consistency of Hamamoto really takes more and more control. And Hayata has to find back her way into this match.
3-9.
Also Hamamoto coming back again. Very often this long service saw that probably Hayata was waiting in a different position. And we see here again, slow motion, good control. And then the acceleration of Hayata just simply a little bit too fast. Should have closed the racket a little bit more.
4-9. Please.
9-4 meanwhile.
Let.
The question is, with these kind of variation, if you in one moment lose this overall rhythm, because you have too many variations inside.
9-5.
Very good backhand there. This acceleration one more time, that's so special from Hayata. And still Hamamoto also not having that big acceleration as probably Hayata is having. And still Hamamoto is up 9-5. A little bit of luck, but also very good placement there in the middle. I doubt whether Hayata would have been able to have a counter spin on that ball, even without the edge.
6-10.
Both are trying to attack the middle of the opponent. And it's interesting to see whether the solution is to play the forehand from the middle or the backhand from the middle. Both is possible, depending on your footwork.
7-10.
It's always a fraction, the last moment when the acceleration is done, whether the hand is high enough, where the wrist is closed enough, or where you have to open the wrist a little bit more. Hayata's trying to struggle back. 10-7. And again, anytime Hamamoto is able to use this backhand soft flick, which is to my point of view not accelerated that much, but it's producing a little bit more side spin, down spin. Anytime you see there very good use of the wrist. Hayata has so much troubles. I think not one ball she put on the table after this backhand flick. And that's something she has to think over. No need to rush on that ball, maybe to put that ball more on the table to get into the rally. Nevertheless, Hamamoto found the way into the match after being 2-0 down. She's even it 2-2 and we'll be back in a second.
Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the fourth game is Yui Hamamoto. She won 11-7, and the score of the games is 2-all.
So let's see if Hayata was thinking it over to find a solution against this backhand side spin flip of Hamamoto.
Fifth game.
And Hamamoto can be
Hamamoto
happy
to serve.
with the performance, especially in game number 3 and number 4, where she found the way, on the one hand, to have a nice placement, on the other hand, to have this consistency to put the ball one more time on the table. Good service again, long service into the middle. Always a question if the player should use the backhand or the forehand there. With the forehand you can accelerate a little bit more. With the backhand it's maybe easier to react. Good service return, good short service. A little bit late Hamamoto was there. And she could just answer with a back push. And then easy prey for Hayata. Service was bad already, no quality inside. The strokes of Hamamoto, as I mentioned, they're like spinny, they're steady. Nothing really special in comparison to Hayata, but very steady, and she's not missing any easy balls.
2-all.
Saying that, she proved me wrong, misread the service. But altogether Hamamoto is very consistent. 2-2. Let's see if she's gonna do. Let's see how far she is to the forehand. She wants to answer with the backhand probably. Yeah. Usually in the way when opponent is moving like this, would be an option to have the service long down the line. Very good. Very good. Good spin, but simply not good enough. And Hayata was answering with a good counter spin. We've seen that before. When Ishikawa was playing, also she's able to have a very good counter spin down the line.
Three-all.
And again there, the placement is crucial. Not that heavy, the topspin, not that fast, the topspin, but good placement. And also Hayata was waiting in the middle. Hayata was simply too late. 3-3.
Let. 3-all.
See very much in the middle, in the waiting position, in receiving. That's something that both girls trying to control the first ball from the middle. If they are not that safe, a little bit more with the backhand. It's a little bit like a philosophy also, what you prefer. Again,
5-3.
she kept the record, Hamamoto. Whenever she's coming on this reverse backhand flick on the reverse service, Hayata has big troubles. It's a question whether you should try to change the service, maybe get the service a little bit easier. Less spin on the service means less chance for Hamamoto to put extra spin inside the ball.
6-3.
All of a sudden, Hamamoto is the one to control. And now
Timeout.
it's time out for Hayata to think it over, to see whether she's able to come back into the game. We shouldn't forget she was up 2-0 and she felt really comfortable before Hamamoto, especially also with a service variation and this backhand side spin flick, come back into this game. And now she's up 6-3. Let's give them some time to think it over.
Time.
And the countdown is running from the timeout machine. Some seconds left. 2-2, 6-3. Hamamoto really made a tremendous
6-3.
comeback after being down 0-2 and after it looked like Hayata had everything under control. Also in game number 3 she was up 7-5 and now it's the challenge for Hayata to come back into this game, into this match.
4-6.
Timeout worked out, at least for this first point. After this long service in the middle, this time the backhand was not used but the forehand. Good 2 times short.
4-7.
We don't see this 2 times short too often. Very often it's opened the game, or very often the backhand banana flick is used or the long push. But to play 2 times short on a high level, as Hamamoto was shown us here, is not that often. And again this time the middle
8-4.
control with the backhand and choosing the deep backhand of Hayata. 8-4. Timing of Hayata, especially with the backhand, is very good. Very stable, very good the ball, how the ball is going out of the racket. Very good acceleration of the wrist without speeding it up too much. And whenever it's getting really fast, you see in this point Hayata has a little bit the advantage in this moment. This extra acceleration. See, not a bad stroke of Hamamoto, but the extra acceleration was coming from Hayata. And now, on the other hand, Hamamoto is really feeling she has to think it over again. It's like a timeout back so far. Timeout from Hayata some points ago, and then the answer is Hamamoto is taking the timeout by herself to think it over. They both know this game number 5 might be crucial. And it's really interesting where the timeout clock is running backwards. The countdown is getting to 0, and it's really interesting to see how
Time.
both girls trying to find their concentration. One with a towel band around the neck, one with just like standing still, standing quiet, try to gather the thoughts. As we mentioned before,
8-5.
table tennis is not like only like moving, accelerating, but at the same time you have to think very fast, maybe faster than in every other sport. And this time timeout didn't favor the one who took the timeout. Very spinny topspin. Difficult to control for Hamamoto. Very crucial moment. 8-4 she was up, 8-6, and now Hamamoto has the chance to get closer with her own service.
6-9.
The question is whether she wanted to get this half-long service on purpose. I mean, her passive game is not all that good. Hamamoto in the passive way is better than Hayata, but Hayata is the one who's able to accelerate more.
Let.
And this service, to my point of view, she has to avoid in short back and short forehand. Hamamoto will always come with his backhand flick. Better placement there. It's about positioning of the ball from the backhand side. It's not that easy to have this extra spin inside because the wrist is used in a different way than from deep forehand. Long service, a little bit softer topspin. Good counter topspin of Hamamoto. Very nice the way she's constructing this point. And there she's too far away, Hayata. And another long service, and this time different placement to the backhand, but Hayata was there. Main thing is for getting a good counter topspin done, that the ball is jumping a bit higher from the opponent, and now we see the ball was coming out of the racket a little bit lower, therefore was more difficult for Hamamoto to hit this good counter spin. She missed it, net out, 10-8, and service Hayata. And again, that was not smart, and she's checking her racket, but this has definitely nothing to do with the racket. After getting this upspin service into the short forehand, maybe it's also a little bit like a downspin service, but with this rotation, you have to lift up the ball, you have to spin the ball higher, not always hitting the ball in front. And remember, the service she did before, she was using the same service variation, but a different placement, short to the backhand. That was directly more successful. That's something she has to think over anyway. Hayata is down 2-3, and she has to struggle to come back into the next game, into this match. We'll be back in some seconds.
Time.
I was also thinking it over one more time about this service and receive. Maybe she's waiting for this backhand flick of Hamamoto. That is really at the moment the crucial point inside the service and receive. But then again, she has to have a better answer in not accelerating directly this fast topspin, but maybe putting the ball on the table, spin it on the table, and be ready for a longer rally. Different placement there, but also here Hamamoto had the better answer. Very good use of the wrist. Not like a side spin flick, but more a straight flick into the deep forehand. Like nearly a textbook play. Made the lefty move into the deep forehand and back to the back.
Too low.
And again Hayata lost her first two services. Good job from Hamamoto. Very smart play from the topspin strokes. I still believe Hayata has more options, more possibilities. But the way Hamamoto is playing is really consistent, putting the ball on the table, knowing what she's doing, having this, I would say, advantage against the service of Hayata with her backhand receive. And all of a sudden, and actually not all of a sudden, but that means a 3-0 lead also in game number 6. We see here, when Hayata has the chance to accelerate herself and has the chance to hit the middle of Hamamoto. Hamamoto is a bit later here. You see there, nice placement. Arm was dropping a little bit low underneath the surface of the table. Touch of the net. Helped Hayata. You see here in slow motion, really trying to nearly throw the racket. Still 3-2 for Hamamoto. Also, it was a little bit touch of the net. What I like about Hamamoto in the way is how she can control this very spinny topspin of Hamamoto. Just like let the ball, let's say, slip out of the racket, not that accelerated, but in a way that Hayata has to move towards the ball, and these movements towards the balls, they are sometimes more difficult than moving left and right. Again, waiting a little bit on the way Hayata is moving in the last moment, switching the direction of the ball. See high toss service, coming very nice and close to the surface, but high enough the hand.
3-5.
Hayata has a little bit more the fast and accelerating strokes, Hamamoto more the steady strokes. And all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, but all together that means 3-2, 5-3 for Hamamoto. And Hayata has to really lift herself a little bit up, not only winning the big rallies, but also winning some small points.
3-6.
Good acceleration. One acceleration with the backhand, another time with the backhand. And then Hamamoto just put the ball a little bit more, we see here. With the last possibility also, she was standing there already on one leg to the forehand. And Hayata was not on, keep on going. A little bit lack of footwork. And again the backhand opener on the classic reverse service. This backhand flick also from her technique is very good from Hamamoto, very effective, didn't lose 1 point so far.
8-3.
Yeah, not only with the hand, a lack of footwork at the end. Really the match altogether totally turns after being 2-0 up. Hayata really lost a little bit the control of the game. Very good there. Coming back after the backhand reverse service, or after this reverse service coming with his backhand flick. Very good control. Deep angle. Remember in game number 2 how big the angle was Hayata was producing. And again, we shouldn't forget Hamamoto really came back 3-2, 8-4, and more or less the consistency of the game of Hamamoto
4-9.
is probably the decisive moment in this game. 9-4, 3-2. Hayata has to come back fast if she wants to have a chance to get up to the semis. 10-4. To be honest, I doubt it. 6 match balls for Yui Hamamoto to reach the semi-final. First one saved. I mean, we've seen that before, that players are coming back, saving many match balls. 11-4 is not right. 10-4 is right, exactly. And there we have the 11-5. After being 2-0 up, where Hayata really showed why she's really promising. She really couldn't get up with the consistency of Hamamoto. Hamamoto find her way, especially with his backhand flick and backhand side spin flick. To my point of view, also Hayata should have changed the service a little bit earlier. Altogether, Hamamoto did a great performance there, winning 4-2 and going up to the semis. We'll be back soon with the first quarterfinal of the men's single event between Timo Boll and Per Gorell, just in some minutes.
Čtvrtfinále dvouher, před chvilkou jsme viděli konec zápasu ženského